So you know how we all said that Elbaf was gonna be Usopp's arc and like, you know, he was gonna finally get a buff? Well, not only am I losing faith in him, it hurts me to say this, but I'm losing faith in Oda. Elbaf is getting up to its like climax. I feel like we're in like the rising action right now. Like Loki's been introduced, the God's Knights are moving, they're doing whatever they're doing to the Elbaf kids. And it's like, there really isn't any time for Usopp to like really learn anything from the Giants. If anything, the Giants would be the one to teach him something, or he would be having actual conversations about like strength and how to be a brave warrior to see with the Giants, and not talking about what type of women you prefer and, you know, being drunk at a party. So with all that being said, is there time for him to get a buff in this arc? And if there is, what's it gonna be? Who's gonna give it to him? Who is gonna guide Usopp in the way of a new buff? Because if I'm being honest, it's probably not gonna happen. It's been shown time and time again in the series, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. Because today we are talking Usopp is not getting a buff in Elbaf. It's just not happening. He's cooked. He's cooked. So obviously Usopp has his post-time skip buff. Like all the Straw Hats got their own post-time skip buffs. And he's had some good moments post-time skip, but I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of those moments are pretty fraudulent. And let me explain. So first and foremost, let's talk about a good one. Now this one was pre-time skip. This was the time that he fought Luffy. Oh, they were going through their issues with the Mary. Usopp wanted to keep it. Luffy, you know, he was like, hey, we gotta get rid of it because, you know, like this thing is like, you know, it's literally falling apart. Like we need a new ship and they told us we cannot do anything. Usopp's like, nah, bro, like we can't do that. We gotta save the Mary. You know, they had their own things. And when it came down to it and they had to fight for it, hey, Usopp stood his ground. Did he get his ass beat? Yes, but did he like, you know, be a man and actually like stand on business for like, you know, behind Mary? Yeah, he did. The issue with this, not only was his pre-time skip, this by no means show any indicative of Usopp's power at all. If anything, it just makes him look worse because he got his shit fried by Luffy. But then again, he had no business going up against Luffy. And like he was losing that fight anyway. It wasn't even a fight he knew he was gonna win. He just wanted to stand on business behind Mary, which is good for him as a character. Like it was, you know, character development. It was an arc. It was just, you know, Usopp going through some mental shit with the Mary. But again, that didn't really do anything good towards like, you know, his mental, because if you go later on down the line, you know, he's still acting like, you know, pretty scary guy. Like it's improved, yes, but is he still scary? Absolutely. He did have a fight though, he really did. You remember him and Chopper versus Miss Merry Christmas? You don't remember that? Yeah, neither do I. Now, did him and Chopper win this fight? Yes, but hey, Usopp got fried in that fight. It's like in any one of Usopp's fight that he has, whether it's a 1v1, 2v2, he gets his shit fried every time. He might be one of the most durable characters in all of One Piece, but like that fight with him and Miss Merry Christmas, not only did he have Chopper's help, it really was like, it's just because he was smart, and Miss Merry Christmas was just like, it's fucking Miss Merry Christmas, bro. Let's be honest. I will give Usopp credit for this though. He did one-shot Sugar. Well, two-shot her? He one-shot her, but like, it wasn't the one shot you think I'm talking about. So you know how he shot his pop, like granted, he awoke observation haki in this moment, right? Pulled back with his Kabuto from 1,000 miles away and was able to one-shot Sugar. But the one shot was just, you know, it was like a meme, you know, it was his face with a pop green. That was just re-traumatizing her from the first time he knocked her out by accident when he took the Tabasco seed. And there's two perspectives you can look at it with this like one shot too. You can look at it from this perspective that like, you know, this was just a joke. It's a meme, like, you know, Usopp's a joke. Like he didn't get stronger, he was just using prank. Also, the other way you can look at it is like, that's Usopp's character. It's him winning fights in just gimmicky ways. Cause like we all know Usopp is not strong enough to take out certain opponents. And like, in all honesty, probably wasn't gonna be able to take out Sugar any other way. But like him being able to beat her in this gimmicky way is just what makes Usopp Usopp. I do agree with that, but at the same time, when we're talking about Elbaf, the final saga, it's no more jokes now. Like shit's getting serious. The enemies are getting stronger and stronger. And Usopp has just been getting weaker and weaker, in all honesty. But wait a minute. How could I forget about God Usopp? See, I can't even say this with a straight face. Let me tell you about God Usopp. So the Tantata needed a legendary hero. They wanted a hero to save them, turn all the humans that were turned into toys by Sugar. They needed a hero. And guess who that hero was? Usopp. He made himself that hero. Lied to the Tantata. Because of the way that the fight with Sugar ended, they were like, oh my gosh, like Usopp, that's our hero. You know, he was all beaten up, bloody. They thought that he went through all this trouble to beat them. He was even held up by one of the giants. There was a sun shining on him that really made him look like a god. And that's where the whole God Usopp persona came from. And everybody on the island thought that like, yo, like Usopp, he really was the one that like saved us from Dofi and all that. Even then, in the whole game, he got a higher berry bounty than Luffy, which is absolutely insane because like Usopp, like come on, it's fucking Usopp. And that brings me to, again, my point in all of this. Most of Usopp's accomplishments and feats just simply come from the fact that his character is just meant to be a joke. Like he doesn't win fights in the most realistic way. It's like they're gimmicks. They're meant to be like funny, but because it's Usopp, it makes sense because he's not a strong enough pirate to just take somebody down with pure force. He has to do it in some weird, quirky, gimmicky way. And like, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to the God's Knights, they're not playing that quirky, gimmicky stuff. He's just gonna get sliced through the chest by whatever sword, whatever devil fruit, or whatever amount of ornament hockey they're gonna take to, you know, destroy him. His durability is only gonna take him so far. And I just don't believe that in the bag of tricks that he has, there is going to be a moment where he's going to be able to stand face to face with the God's Knights or someone else in the final saga that's not just gonna be like a random, somewhat strong marine that he can take down with those gimmicks. And it could have been set up so well for him to get this buff in Elbaf too. He could have learned some secret giant technique from one of the giants that could have made him stronger. He could have had a conversation with one of them that could have like enlightened him in some way to where he's finally unlocked Armament. You know, he could have put it on one of his pop greens. Shit, the giants could have gave him some sort of like human-sized ancient weapon or just some giant weapon in general that could have made him stronger. Shit, they could have gave him a fucking Glock with a switch. Put a switch on his Kabuto for all I care. There is something that Usopp could have cooked in Elbaf that could have given him a strong buff. But I honestly am starting to think that maybe Oda just doesn't want to give Usopp a buff. Maybe he wants to keep his gimmicky character and personality, and his whole goal of wanting to become a brave warrior of the sea, honestly, is just gonna end up depending on himself and whether or not he believes that he became a brave warrior of the sea or not. Whether all the gimmicks, the lies that he tells people onto every island he goes to, like, yeah, I'm this like this big guy, you know, I'm God Usopp. Maybe that's what it's gonna be. And you know, maybe it's getting set up for him to die, and when he dies a brave warrior of the sea, just the people that he's told these lies to, these things that people believe, maybe that's how he's gonna go down as brave warrior of the sea. And that maybe in his heart of hearts, if he did end up dying in some heroic fashion, then maybe he'll be like, okay, I achieved my dream. I just did something that made me a brave warrior of the sea, and like, you know, you have it like that. So in the grand scheme of things, Usopp is more than likely not getting a buff this arc. And if he does get a buff, by all means, I would be happy, and I'd honestly be shocked to see what it will be and what Oda could cook up. But at the rate things are going now, and just the way that his character's been played throughout the story, and especially everything that's been happening post-time skip, I just don't see him getting anything significant in Elbaf. And shit, he might not get anything significant towards the end of the story. Who knows? Me, honestly, I just don't see anything big happening anytime soon. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think Usopp's buff will be, if he'll get a buff in Elbaf, and you know, if he's not gonna be fodder anymore, because these opponents are getting stronger, and I just don't know if he's gonna be able to stand up against them. Point blank period. So let me know down below, and please like, comment, do all that fun stuff, and I will see y'all in the next One Piece discussion.